Aru? Aru. She's M.
And he's B.
And we're here back to episode 15.
I think so. 15.
Awesome.
We're almost able to drive.
Almost.
Almost.
And so thank you for watching. Today we are going to cover an experience that M just recently had.
Yes, with the Spartan Super. So we're going to discuss what makes that race a super. But first,
the intro.
welcome back to Fitness Forever TV,
With M and B, your source for entertainment television.
where we explore all things health and wellness to help you achieve longevity and vitality.
Awesome. Hey, welcome back to episode 15. We appreciate you watching. So we got our little mugs going on here. You see both sides of this. Hey, don't forget, we're still rolling with motivate.fitnessforever.tv, where all you have to do is tell us a little bit about your favorite motivational quote, and you can receive one of these too.
Yeah, so make sure you guys send us your favorite quote, and we'll link that down below, up above, all over.
Right, exactly. And usually right about now is where we go into the quants, right? 'Cause that's that quick actionable nugget. But we've noticed that you're not so crazy about those right up here in the beginning. We still want to give you those because those are those little nuggets, things you can do right away. But we're going to do it in the end. So if you want them, watch them at the end.
Yeah.
Okay?
But instead, we're going to talk about hopefully what you're tuning in for, which is to find out all about the Spartan Super.
Right. So, Melissa, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between the Spartan Super and the Sprint, which we've already covered a couple times?
Right. So in a couple previous episodes, Brad and I with a team did the Spartan Sprint, and then I did a Spartan Sprint solo. But the Spartan Super now is their middle distance, so it goes from the sprint distance up to the middle distance, which is the super, which is not only longer, but also involves more obstacles. So it goes super, sprint, beast, and then they have an ultra beast, they have a hurricane heat, they have all kinds of crazy distances and challenges, but this is the base. 3 distances is the sprint, the super, and the beast. So far we've covered the sprint, and today we're covering the super, which I just did yesterday in Jacksonville.
Right, so the sprint is a 5K distance, right? Which is 3.1 miles?
Yes, plus, yeah.
Oh, right, because the sandbags, right, I remember. And then, so what's the super?
The super is a 10K plus.
Yeah. Again, with the sandbags and the whole thing?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So, we've got some great footage that Melissa came back with, and we're going to go to that right now.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Aloha, greetings and Aru. We're here at the Spartan Jacksonville Super. It is cold today, but that's all right because you got to be ready for anything when we're Spartan racing. I'm super excited, about to check in. Let's see what this is all about, and it's going to be a fantastic day here at the Spartan Jacksonville race. All right, so we've entered the race pavilion, and whenever you enter in the race, you always put your gear on, your number, which is a headband. I get my hair up, start to warm up. So we're going to go through that process next. And I'm going to get really warm for this race. It is not cold. I'm getting super excited now. And that's when the adrenaline starts to pump. And it goes from a little bit of nervousness just to pure excitedness. So here we go.
Come on! We are honored by our courage, commitment to excellence, but know this, your mind, body, and spirit will all get put to the test for you chase glory on this day! Who am I? Look to that Spartan to the right and left of you. You will draw strength from them as they will draw strength from you. You will not let them fail. Who am I? By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you something done as far as I may fight. For today's the day you rise to glory. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now, in your whole state of Florida. Are you ready? Spartans! Aru! Let's race! Good luck, ladies! Have a great...
think I lost the podium at the very end. I'm really f***ing disappointed, but it's a tough race, and that's the way it rolls sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow, that was tough.
Yes, it was. It was really tough. It was a really cold day. You know, we live in Florida, and all week long it's like been in the 80s. Saturday morning in Jacksonville, it was 30 something, felt like 29. And there were a lot of water obstacles in this one. And the second one right off the bat was you had to walk through a lake.
Oh.
And I didn't do well in the cold, so my hands were freezing. I mean, they were hurting. That race was very painful. It was very painful mentally too, because knowing how hard I've worked and to fail on obstacles that I normally can do in my sleep was very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Man, I can't even imagine going through that pain alone with all of the training you put in beforehand, all that hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, and then to have a race like that was, I guess was kind of a disappointing, right?
It was really disappointing for me, and like I said, it was really, really cold, and as a matter of fact, after I finished that last bit of video there, the medics actually came over to me and wrapped me up in their thermal tin foil looking blankets.
Oh, the heat sheet.
Yeah, my teeth were chattering, my whole body was shivering. I don't do great in the cold, but I have to overcome and adapt, and it was definitely a learning experience. And I think I am hard on myself. I hate to say it, I am accustomed to being on that podium, and coming in fourth place, it's like it's even more like painful knowing how close I was, especially since I'm accustomed to being on that stand. But I have to lose with grace, and mad respect to all the competitors out there. But for me personally, I was very, very, very disappointed.
Okay, so with that being said, to use one of her phrases, that being said, out of the things that you did learn, can you give us just a couple of quick nuggets of what you might have done differently?
Oh yeah, definitely. So one of the things that strategically I thought was really good off the bat was I normally come out of the gate really strong with my run, and this time I played it a little more conservative actually, because I thought to myself, it's a little bit longer of a distance. I never should have done that. I shouldn't have changed my strategy, which has always worked for me in the past. And also thinking more clearly on the course, there were a couple things I didn't execute in regards to technique. Like on the multi-rig, it went from ring to ring to ring to ring to a really long bar, and that long bar was out of my reach, even with the momentum of the swing. And I kept trying to reach with my hands, and I'm like, hello, next time, Melissa, reach with your legs, wrap your legs around that long bar. So there were things that I looked at in hindsight that I was just like, man, why did I do that? Why wasn't I thinking clearly enough? So that was upsetting. And so those kinds of things were really some of the strategic things that I didn't quite implement.
All right. Well, at least and now you'll be able to take those lessons and apply them to the next race, right?
It was just the cold. It was the cold, though. I mean, my hands were they were in so much pain. Like, they felt like they could have shattered. So I do have a funny story, though, post-race. One of the great things about post-races is your post-race beer. Well, thank you.
I'll take care of that.
Look at that service. Is your post-race beer that you get, with Spartan Racing. So I had at this point known that I was definitely in fourth. All the results were done. I was hoping maybe, I would have had the fortunate experience to being bumped up if someone had penaltied out, but that wasn't the case. So I'm like, all right, begrudgingly taking fourth place, but I'm like, ooh, I'll go get my beer. I'll just redeem my free beer ticket. So I go up to the beer tent, and I'm like, ooh, I would like my beer. And the guy looks at me, and he goes, may I see your ID? I didn't have my ID on me. And I said to the gentleman, I said, well, are you kidding? I just ran the 40 to 44-year-old age division. the gentleman beside me said, "Wow, really? I can't believe that." And I looked at that guy and said, "You're not helping me, buddy. I really want my beer."
No.
But so that was to add even more
And
salt into
insult
my
to injury.
my wound there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you went through that, but I know out of all the people that I know, this one's gonna be back and with a vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's
I'm-
gonna hit that next race, and you wait. She's gonna be back on that podium.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now you've got one day, and it still looks like it's still kind of marinating a little bit.
It does.
So, what do you plan on doing to help you overcome the disappointment of this race?
I'm just going to work harder. I mean, I think the one thing that really saved me was my running this time. And I will say the positive outcome from this race is that I really trained on my run this time. Like, not to say that I don't normally train, but I really focused on that. Normally, like, I'm in the gym doing metabolic circuits and things like that, which I did this time as well, but I did more running this go around. And I burpeed out of so many obstacles. I mean, I did like, I think 180 burpees yesterday, but I always caught up with the pack and passed the pack after my burpees with my run. So knowing that I can really focus on my run. I mean, yesterday it wasn't in terms of like the obstacles that got me. It was my hands. Like I couldn't feel my hands. I was literally like in so much pain with my hands. So the thing that I know that I could work on for moving forward, more intensity in my metabolic circuits and more running.
Okay.
Developing my run some more.
Well, you know what? They say that winners, after a disappointing race, get up, find out what happened, and they work harder. Losers quit.
Yeah.
You're a winner in my book.
Aw, thanks, B, and so are you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, just to recap, so 7 to 8 miles, 29 obstacles, freezing cold. She still came in fourth, which, okay, to you and me, that's freaking amazeballs, right? But that's not Melissa's standard. Melissa's standard is 1, 2, or 3, and 1 being the goal. The goal.
Best option.
So, yeah. So with that being said, let me just give you the one quick actionable nugget for you. So there are so many different ways and things to think about when going for a race or when you're coming back to fitness after being taken a hiatus. And just to give you a quick foreshadowing, there's gonna be some bees blabs talking about that, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so anyway, so there's different ways to find that motivation. A lot of times it's the chase of the podium, right? And that's Melissa. That's Melissa's fun. And that's where she gets all that motivation. For some of us, it's the next challenge, or there's a lot of people that they look for a race and I don't have it with me. Oh, there it is. And then, well, see? Or they look at the bling, like
The hardware.
and says, wow, I'd really like to have that. Or maybe they collect it. Here is the 5K from my latest graduation race. So they kind of they go into the race and they go, oh, wow, that's a really cool medal. I like to train for that. You know what? That's okay. It doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming cause or charity or anything else like that. Yes, don't get me wrong. It's great if you do that. But sometimes it's just a collector item saying, hey, you know what? Pretty cool medal. I want to get that. So therefore, I'm going to train for the race.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
I know. That's really nice hardware.
It's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, yeah. Anyway, it was my graduation race, and I'm very happy. All my people did very well, so that's what we're gonna stop with that. But anyway, so there's your Quan. Find a reason. Then the reason doesn't have to be huge, and if that's your motivation, so be it.
Yeah, and on another note, I do want to say that in M's Moments playlist, we will have 2 videos in there. My pre-race checklist and packing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out if you're going to travel for a race, whether it's an OCR race or just a
road race.
You get to watch a video on how I pack for that, and then also a video on my pre-race foam rolling protocol.
Nice.
Yeah, so
nice.
check those out, and those should help you out, hopefully, with the next race adventure that you're going to be going to.
That's great advice, and I can't wait to see them.
Yeah. So guys, tell us, what you like. Comment, please hit that subscribe button. Share with us your thoughts. Maybe you did the Jacksonville Super or Sprint this past weekend. Let us know how you did. Let us know your thoughts on your experience with the race, and maybe that will help us share more tips with our audience.
So thank you very much for joining us,
Yeah, and thank you
And-
guys.
and we will see you next week.
Aru.